We've all had those days where the sun's shining, everything seems to be going our way, and life just feels great. And in contrast, we've also had those days where maybe we were underslept or hungry, or maybe things weren't going well at work, and everything just seems a bit bleak. Hi again. So I think we've all probably felt the difference between those types of days, the good ones and the bad ones. In this video, I thought it'd be fun to go a bit deeper on why I think it's better to try and be a bit positive in life and spread a little love and joy in the world, even if we're not feeling too good ourselves. This is my 200th video, so I wanted it to be quite an uplifting message. So yeah, let's get into this. By the way, I know that already some people out there will have rolled their eyes when they've seen the start of this video. And whether they'll admit it or not, I also know that they're currently in a negative emotional state. Do you know how I know this? It's because a person in a positive emotional state will be like, oh, that sounds good. I like the energy of that person who's talking, or I like to hear about positive things. Let me hear more. A person in a negative emotional state will be like, they'll either just blank it out, gloss it over, or they'll be like, oh, shut up, go away. They'll click to the next video. They don't want to hear about anything positive. They want to keep feeding that negative energy, and it's really not healthy, but they might not even realize it at the time. Now, that's not to say that even the most positive people don't have off days as well. You know, if you catch me on a day where I've only slept for 4 hours, then yeah, I'll probably be that one who's rolling their eyes as well, actually. Although I'm a lot better at managing those days now, I think, mainly because of meditation, actually. It makes those negative days that you have very less frequent, because meditation is drawing happy, good energy from inside of your body rather than trying to get it from the external world. So there's point number one, start meditating. Actually, while we're on the topic of meditation, I'd like you guys to do something for me. Next time you are around somebody that you know meditates a lot, I want you to do something. I want you to just look at their eyes, look into their eyes. And what you'll probably find is that the person who meditates has quite a bright gleam to their eye, a glint in their eye that is like full of life and joy. Whereas if you look at a person who's in a negative emotional state or lives their life in a very negative way, what you're more likely to find is that their eyes are very kind of lifeless and dull and don't have that same sparkle to them. Just check it out if you can. It's the weirdest thing, but I swear it's a real thing. Just check it out if you get the chance. The reason for this, by the way, is, like I said, the person who meditates, they're getting the feel-good emotions from their inner body. It's coming from inside, like within. They're not trying to extract it from the external world by buying things like new items or shiny objects or trying to show off, things like that. Again, there'll be people watching this that will totally understand that. They'll totally get it. But there'll also be people watching this that'll be like, it'll just go straight over their heads, because probably that either they've never experienced it, or it's so far beyond their level of perception that it just seems completely alien to them. They're usually the kind of people that can't accept that you have the power to feel good without needing anything from the outside world. They usually think that to feel good you have to, like I said, buy new things or win on scratch cards or get lucky some other way. The real irony here is that if you are a more positive person and you give out a more uplifting vibe and energy to the world, then you're more likely to have lucky things happen to you, or at least that's what I believe in my experience. I was discussing this with a friend of mine, a good friend called Jazz. He has his own YouTube channel. In fact, he mentioned this in a recent clip, so I'm going to play that for you now.
You know, the words never throw in the towel about my grandma turned into a project.
Love is something, if you give it away, you end up having more. And it's like that energy. Everything we think we were trying to take and get, when we let go and we just think about what can we give, this magical thing happens. You wanting to help, give your grandma the best eulogy. You wanting to help some guy. There was nothing in it other than, I want them to have the best of me. I want this person to be okay. These clients of mine that when I'm cutting their hair, they're sharing with me, so I'm going to reciprocate and share with them. And I think it's a cheat code to life. It's like once you start giving it away and you stop asking what's in it for me, you know,
Yeah.
magical things happen.
Great stuff. Go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. And if you want to check out Anthony Hutton's Don't Throw in the Towel project, I'll leave a link in the description for that. It's a free event. Anybody in the north of England or southern Scotland, well, anybody in the UK really can go to it. So like I was saying, I was actually having this conversation with Jazz on this topic quite recently as well. And he was telling me about what he's been doing. I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. He's been on a little bit of a mission where he's been going out and trying to spread a little bit more joy and love in the world. Basically giving compliments to people, just getting people feeling good about themselves. And he's been astounded by the impact that it had on his emotional state. Just that simple act of saying a few kind words to somebody, it makes both their day better and yours. It's a win-win. So why not do it? Why don't more people do it? I mean, there's no reason not to, right? It's an expansive energy that gets people feeling better. So why not do that? Why not spread it a bit and get people feeling good as they go about the day? It totally makes sense, right? And what generally happens is that opportunities start to present themselves. Good fortune seems to come back on you. That's not a reason to do this, by the way. The reason should just be because you want to make other people feel good. It shouldn't be about you trying to take something in return. If you are somebody that is in a bit of a negative emotional state, just try it. Try giving a couple of people a compliment and see what happens. You might even start to notice that people gravitate towards you. It's this quite esoteric thing. You know, when I do those nightlife videos, I often get into such a fun, happy state that people naturally just want to come over and try and join in. People love being around positive energy. In contrast, if I go out and I try and make a video when I'm in a bit of a negative emotional state, people don't want to be in it. They're like, no, I'm not interested. I'll ask them if they want to be in a little video that I'm making, and it'll only take a couple of minutes. They're like, no, not interested. Sometimes they'll even just like completely ignore me and carry on walking. Whereas when I'm in a positive state and I tell them I'm making a video, they're like, yeah, I want to be in it. Yeah, turn the camera on. It's like this positive vibe just gets shared all around and influenced by each other. It's a bit like when you're at a gig and everyone's just loving the music and they're all in harmony with each other and having a good time. Now, if there's a guy in the audience who's like in a bit of a negative state and he decides to like throw a bottle or a can or something onto the stage and disrupts the performance, what happens to the energy in the room then? Everybody in the room is like, oh, get that energy away from us. We don't want any of that. We're having a good time. We don't want any of that negative energy. And a similar thing can happen on the flip side of it, where a person who's feeling very positive and upbeat goes into a place where there is a lot of negative energy, and the negative energy in the room will be like, oh, we don't want his energy near us. He thinks he's better than us, or they just want to keep kind of feeding off that negativity and they don't want the positive energy around them. So it's really interesting to see the contrast between them. And this is also important about why you need to choose your friends wisely. You don't want to end up in a social circle where there's a lot of negative energy, because it'll impact your life in ways that you don't actually realize. Think of it like a mirror where everything on the outside is a representation of what's going on the inside. So if you're feeling good and happy and positive, that's the kind of world that you're going to see on the outside. Whereas if you're going about your life and you're like complaining, miserable, always looking for the worst, obviously that is what's going to be the representation on the outside too. It's a mirror image of your internal world. A great side effect about this, by the way, is that your relationships will improve dramatically when you start being a more positive, upbeat person. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, well, you know, I'm just a negative person, or it's just the way I am, I can't seem to change it. You can change it. I believe everybody can change it. And the best way that I know how is to get your body moving. Start exercising, start walking, start doing things that put you in a more upbeat state of mind, a more positive headspace that gets those feel-good chemicals flowing. You see, when you change your physiology, you change your emotion. So anything to do with exercise, walking tall, wearing a smile, even if it feels fake at first. And then as you do start to feel a bit better about yourself and about the world around you, start spreading that love. Think of it like you have an abundance of love and energy in your cup, and your cup is full and it's overflowing, and you just want to share that with the world. Do this, comment and let me know what you think about this. I know some people will just be like, oh, this guy's like too much of a hippie. But from my experience and from the people that I know that live their life in a positive way, I think there's a lot of truth to it. I hope you got something from this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will hopefully see you in the next video. All right, ciao.